What is up, everybody? It's your boy Tyler Wrestles, and we are going to go over my top 10 best matches in professional wrestling in 2024. This list was incredibly hard. There were so many great matches this year, and it took me quite a while to kind of go through this and kind of pick out my favorites from the year. You're definitely going to see a theme with certain wrestlers that made the list multiple times, but they were well deserved, and you need to let me know after we're done here in the comments what you think of my list, if anybody, and if there's any that I may have forgotten. So before we hit to that list, you know the drill. Like this video, subscribe to my channel, and like I said, leave me a comment afterwards to let me know what you think of my list. Okay, we're going to get right into it. Number 10. This is the only women's match I have in my top 10. It's not because I didn't think the women's matches were deserving, but this one stood out to me more than others. And I know I'm going to have some arguments over this. We'll get into that. But number 10, it's Willow Nightingale versus Chris Statlander in the street fight at AEW All Out. That match to me stood out more than any other match. I know some people are going to say, what about Stat and Mercedes Moné at World's End? I enjoyed that match, but Willow and Stat was so much better to me. I absolutely loved it. And just the crazy spots, the crazy moments, the thumbtacks when Stat did the splits on the thumbtacks. Willow, I mean, it was just a masterpiece of brutality. And I absolutely loved it. And it was so memorable to me. And that's why Willow Nightingale versus Chris Statlander at All Out is my number 10 match. Number 9, we have Konosuke Takeshita versus Speedball Mike Bailey at Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling Forged in Excellence. I think this was night 1. It was either night 1 or night 2. I can't remember now. But this match had everything you wanted. Great spot. I mean, great spots all the way around. A great way for this company to establish itself with a excellent match in the pay-per-view, which there were others too, but this is the one that really captivated me. And anytime Speedball's involved, there's going to be a great match. And Takeshita is another one of the great up and coming talents there are in the world of professional wrestling. And I thought it was absolutely excellent. And that's why it is number 9 on my list. Number 8 on the list is Bryan Danielson versus Kazuchika Okada at New Japan Wrestle Kingdom 18. This match was the perfect sequel to their very first match. It absolutely was a masterpiece of two of the greatest wrestlers of their generation and wrestling today. Uh, we'll forget about what happened in that third match, but the second match was the pinnacle of these two's matches together, in my opinion, and that's why it is number 8. Bryan Danielson versus Okada at New Japan Wrestle Kingdom 18. At number 7, Will Ospreay versus Takeshita at AEW Revolution. If you want to see a match where it is this high paced, spot after spot after spot, doing some of the most unique moves you'll ever see, this is the match for you. These two absolutely killed it. They laid everything in, and it looked like they were going to absolutely kill each other. And just some of the spots they pulled off, you just couldn't imagine probably anybody else other than these two doing them in the ring. And I definitely recommend you guys check out my number 7 match, Will Ospreay versus Takeshita at AEW Revolution. Number 6, we have Bryan Danielson versus ZSJ, Zack Sabre Jr. at New Japan, The New Beginning in Osaka. This was probably the two best technical wrestlers in the world, in my opinion, going at it blow by blow, spot by spot, counter by counter. It was an absolute masterpiece. And you to see Danielson and Sabre Jr. In the ring was an absolute treat for everybody. If you like a great actual technical wrestling match, and you got to watch it if you haven't. So number 6, Bryan Danielson versus Zack Sabre Jr. New Japan, the beginning in Osaka. At number 5 is the first WWE match I have on my list, and it is Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, WrestleMania 40. And it was, I mean, the storytelling obviously going in top notch. We've been building for this for like a year with Cody and Roman, and just everything that happened, including Seth Rollins coming out. We had The Rock involved. I mean, it was an absolute gem of a match. And Cody Rhodes finishing the story, the emotion, just the amazing feeling that all these Cody fans had after he failed the first time a year ago and finally finished that story, and just the cheer and exuberance. Um, it was just a great match and aftermatch, and everything went into this, and that's why it has to be included. So at number 5, Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, WrestleMania 40. At number 4, we have Will Ospreay, MJF, on AEW Dynamite. This was an absolute masterpiece of a match for Dynamite. It went the full, did it go the full time limit? If it went awful close to the full time limit, but it was an hour long and it was absolutely a barn burner. Um, so much energy in this match. Osprey was amazing. MJF had his brawler mentality and went right after him. And these two, I didn't know if they had anything left of them. Even with 20 minutes left in the match, they were both exhausted and wore out. And they went through and gave us one of the best matches of 2024. And that's why I have it at number 4, MJF versus Osprey, AEW Dynamite. Okay, we're going into my top 3 matches of 2024. But before you do that, you know the drill. Like this video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and don't forget, after the video is over, comment and let me know what you think of my list and what I might or who I might have forgotten or who shouldn't have been in this list. I'd like to hear that too. But let's get into it. Number 3. At number 3, I have Will Ospreay, again, surprise, surprise, versus Swerve Strickland in AEW New Japan Forbidden Door. This was the match. A lot of people question, why are we doing this now? Why don't we do this later? These are two of the top stars in all of AEW, the most popular stars in all of AEW at this moment in time. And why are we going to have this match now? Why not build to it later? They did a good little build to it. Honestly, I don't think it could have been as good as it should have been, but the match they delivered was an instant classic. These two proved why they were two of the top wrestlers in all the world and why they were so popular at the time. And if you didn't go back and you haven't watched that match, you are missing out. It was an absolute classic. And like I said, number 3, Osprey versus Strickland, AEW New Japan Forbidden Door. You gotta watch it. At number 2, we have a WWE match. CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre at AEW Bad Blood Hell in a Cell. Now, this is kind of subjective. For me, this brought back what Hell in the Cell has been missing for the past 15 years, I'd say. It felt like an authentic Hell in the Cell match. And the best part is they didn't have to go through the ceiling of the cage. I thought that spot has been off the cage. Both of those spots have been overplayed so many times, but just the brutality, we had blood. It kind of made me feel like we are in the new era of WWE under Triple H. And we had just tools involved. We had the bracelets, beads in the bag, and it was just an instant classic for me. Just the emotion, the story, the build. This is one of the best builds the whole year for me because especially with Drew is a master of the social media, and I mean I could feel every emotion that was in this match, and that is why it is number 2. But just barely, it could have been number 1 for me. So number 2 was CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, Hell in a Cell at WWE Bad Blood. Okay, number 1, which is the greatest wrestling match of 2024. And if you haven't seen it, you are doing a disservice as a wrestling fan. This match, honestly, is why I love pro wrestling. Will Ospreay versus Bryan Danielson at AEW Dynasty. These two, you could tell, were out to absolutely destroy each other. Not only was it one of the greatest technical exhibitions in professional wrestling I've ever seen, it was so hard hitting and fast paced, and just the in ring storytelling alone of when Osprey basically was beating up Danielson. We had the question of using the Tiger Driver. It was just so good. And if you, oh man, I can't even describe the greatness that these two put on that night. So if you can, go watch it. Will Ospreay, Bryan Danielson, AEW Dynasty, my number one match for 2024. One of the greatest matches of all time, in my opinion. So, anyways, those are my top 10 matches of 2024. Let me know what you think. I'm real curious to hear what you guys have to say in the comments below. And please like and subscribe to this channel. I'm going to be producing more and more videos here on YouTube in 2025 and beyond. So, hope you guys can follow, enjoy the ride, and we'll have a good time. But thanks for watching my best top 10 matches of 2024 in the professional wrestling. I'm Tyler Wrestles. Check out all my other social media links at tylerwrestles.com. It'll be in the description. And until next time, peace out.